Hi guys, I'm back for the fourth video of the Today Skill series. This video is about how to plan folders to manage office work faster and yet more accurately. Thus, obviously increasing efficiency, earning both the brownie points as well as the priceless time. 100% of managers and about 99.9% of sales employees have to mandatorily either create, analyze or share data in some form or the other on a routine manner. Some may be using desktop, some laptops and some tablets, but each of them are keeping data, accumulating them, using them or sharing them for various purposes related to work, intimation, administration or analysis. These data are in form of files and are obviously stored in folders. Various work studies suggest that if one uses basic planning on these folders and use a structured approach, he can easily improve his work delivery in terms of accuracy and time needed for completion by up to 30%. Imagine 30%. This time so saved can be used for spending more time with the family and also in pursuing your own passion. This video explores the how aspect only. Don't worry, it is completely free. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more such videos. In case you feel some of your co-workers are also having issues in this aspect, please also share to them so that they may also be benefited. How to increase work efficiency? First, you need to know about how in general work efficiency can be improved. Then we will talk more on this particular aspect and how it can be used in this particular aspect with some live examples. Work efficiency improvement can be done by one of any of these four ways or multiple of these. One, communication improvement. Two, work understanding improvement. Three, increase in innovation to achieve work output. Four, increase in effort to achieve output. Now, communication improvement would happen only when you have adequate verbal and influence skills and know exactly who the stakeholders are. Usually, a repository keeping is a good way to keep tab on stakeholders as they might be changing from time to time. Work understanding, the second point, can be improved if one knows what they are doing, why they are doing, and how they should be doing. This usually is aided by education. Third, increase in innovation is achieved by understanding what else and how else. Plus would require understanding of cost benefit to be derived out of it. Also would need a good amount of leadership because innovation will yield a newer way of life. So you would need to do a sample first and explore because otherwise obviously your seniors also will not be accepting that. Doing a thing which was not done previously as per order hence would require courage and also self-belief. This video today is about the folders and how you can do this. So this is more of innovation based. So increase in innovation is the area where the video is supposed to impact. Lastly, increase in effort. This area I believe all managers tend to fall back on in most of the discussions. So you, my friend, would not be alone if you fall back on old discussion or related words of past wherein someone says that you must work harder, then only outcome will come, etc., etc. But then actually for this to happen in reality, one has to increase the employee's morale, job skill, and also provide adequate tools and understanding for that effort, the increased effort to materialize and sustain the newfound morale so that he goes back and does it again. Otherwise, what happens even if it jumps up, it will go down. Other of these heads or subtopics of work efficiency improvement, I will try to explore in subsequent and other videos. Now comes a very pertinent question: how can folder management help in this? If you see the two pics attached in the slide, there is now this is how a routine desktop actually looks. There are huge number of files which are maybe primarily due to high number of downloads and one's propensity to download everything first and then decide what to do next. So naturally, if you consider that around, say, on an average around 200 mails come to you, because this is what the routine workload happens in most functions, from, say, various customers, company employees, or even from vendors who require or provide some form of data on orders or even old data related info or any such matter. For HR, it would be routine policy-related discussions for which there is a form or anything that is getting shared. Then references, CVs, legal matters, or legal compliances for which different receipts, etc., are getting exchanged. Pay slips and even HO-related data for various projects, etc. So it becomes very difficult after a period of time to track old files. So how knowledge of folder management helps here? So first is it gives knowledge of where a file is stored, thus reducing the search time and effort, which is has a very incremental effect. If you got it over time, you will find that a substantial amount of time and effort can be saved. So number two is that it increases ease of taking data backup. Now, most organizations usually take data backup at end of the week to keep data accessible and prevent data loss. Naturally, if you have ordered a way of keeping folders, you will have less number of similar unrequired files. Thus, the volume of data backup will obviously reduce, and hence the CPU will work faster and everything will be done quicker. Three, when you have proper folders and you have a planned sequence of keeping things, then naturally you will find files easily, which means when working from home and accessing office LAN or cloud data, you will easily get to know where to search and hence find files faster rather than manually accessing and screening folder after folder and getting frustrated on the process and shouting at the IT for internet speed. Four, if you have files well named and stored in folders in a defined sequence, you will be able to eliminate repeat work, because no matter what work is allotted to you, the same will always be linked with some other work which you had done in the immediate or distant past. Example, say you are given work or on, say, creating a policy, or say you are asked to make a manual. You need old downloaded works in the form of, say, formats, images, policies, and other such relevant data, which you will be putting in the manual. Or say even for the policy, you need older policies to fall back on. So if old data is not kept properly, naturally you will take more time in finding them and also need to download things afresh, resulting in more and more time lags. Besides, having a data in format will also allow you to cross-reference with old files, making the data more accurate. Hence, having a dual effect. One hand, you are getting the job done in 2 hours less time, which you are using for some hobby or sleep, when your peers who are working to submit the same report, which has been asked by your boss during this time, or say maybe even working all night. So this way, your work efficiency is drastically improved. Now, what are folders? Folders are nothing but similar to boxes which store your files in computer. Now, why is there a challenge? One, uncertain work allotment. No one really knows exactly what new work will be allotted. But yes, there is a JD, job description. Usually, work will only be similar or related to one's job description that are specified for most organizations. But even then, there is always surprises. Sometimes a customer will call for a record shared with him months back, or internally HR will ask some data, or say your boss will ask to reshare a file you had once made a few months back for his reference, and the list is endless actually. Number two is obviously the forgetfulness of the user. It is actually very difficult to recall each and every past task or assignment over a timeline extending decades. In same way, it is also very difficult for a average person to recall each and every minute detail of data downloaded or forwarded. So hence, a proper planning of files helps in this regard. Three, laziness to do this activity. Well, let's be frank. This activity of planning desktop and folders falls last in our pecking order of priorities. As most of the time we tend to neglect this activity as this needs to be done time and again, and sometimes we feel too lazy to do a task which we feel is not of immediate impact. 4. Absence of futuristic view. Now, as I said in one, we are not certain what next work will be. So we at times also struggle to determine which folder to be kept, where to enhance our access. So we sometimes safely ignore the task itself. 5. Some files are multi-purpose and hence needs to be stored in many folders. Like say the file on manpower count. This sometimes discourages us from folder creation. This may be this say manpower count will be used in many projects like say sales MIS analysis, deployment report, or even compliance tabulations for future estimates, etc., and there are hundreds other possibilities. So then won't it be so that we may actually have same file everywhere and losing out on which version was latest? Well, to be frank, if you are using proper file naming convention, this chance is remote because base file is remaining same. It is just that you are using it in different files. So now, how to bypass these challenges? It is said that with the birth of a problem, there is also a solution which is born. It is just that you need to figure that out. One, for the first case, please understand your JD and work pattern. You will easily figure out that all activities over last say 2 to 5 weeks you are doing and how you are actually getting the data, how you are storing, what are the type of data, what was coming to you. You get a pattern obviously. If you are studying the last 2 to 5 weeks work, you will get a pattern. Number two, you can always use log files to remind yourself and also put mobile alerts on particular days to do this activity. This will keep you reminded. Three, see, laziness can only be overcome by self-determination and education of importance of the activity. Remember the 21-day challenge for bringing in change. Yes, you need to do a activity at least 21 times in different days so that this gets included in your routine work and you will not forget if it is to be done in near future. So for this activity also you'll have to have a calendar. Yes, you would need allot a day like say Friday every week to do this deletion activity. Obviously, don't get panicky that you are being asked to spend the entire day doing this. It is not like that. It's just about say 1 hour maximum in which you delete all unnecessary files in download section and desktop if you have populated them. Saturday, you may for your own reference you can rename it as a reorganization day. So you take out some time, say 2 hours of that day, and set up mobile alerts for reminding uh, of this particular day. So during these 2 hours, just push yourself, and you will be able to ward off the desire to be lazy and end up, doing all the drag and drop and renaming stuff for these files and putting them in the appropriate folders. Initially, you will be like a little bit lazy, but after you do once or twice, you will definitely get into the move. Fourth is see high number of downloads is not a issue actually. Actually, every day in HR, IT, marketing, there will always be 200 plus mails, out of which say 70 to 80% mails will have attachments. Some related, some unrelated. Yes, a source correction is possible by macro usage to custom download in desired folders. But for normal lay users, this video will be useful because these things he may not be able to do. But what has been told in this video in the subsequent slides, if you do that, it will be useful enough. Number five, see, yes, again, you you won't. I mean, see, you can always copy paste these things from one folder to another. Okay, you know that. So besides, if you know which is kept where, I mean, what your data is there in which your folder in which your path, you will always be in a better position, to do this thing also. Even if you require at later stage, you feel that okay, you have done some formatting and all, and now you are not getting the file, then you can always from the log you will get where the file is stored, and you can go there directly and copy and paste the file in the required folder. So there is no issue in that. Okay. Now, as you see here in this picture also, there's so much files. The question is how to classify these files. See, file classification can be done basically into two major ways. This by say on the basis of frequency of download or basis utility. If both are involved and you're a little bit confused which one to take, you classify first folders on basis of non-overlapping utility. Then sub-classify them on frequency. This way you get both. Now how to plan folders. Before going that, first conceptualize the end state. How the download and the desktop folders in your laptop or desktop or tablet should look after the activity is done. This will give you clues as to how you may go about it. Desktop, as you see in this picture, should be very neat and have very few entries, say max of 5 or 6, and majorly only shortcuts, if any. Download should also be empty. So what you do is that at least if you are following the process, you on Friday you delete all the files which are not necessary, and then on Saturday you rearrange the files. So after Saturday, it should be that the download section should be absolutely empty, or have only say one or two shortcuts if there is any, and the desktop also will only have shortcuts and the one main folder. That's all. That is the ideal state, and that should be there. Now comes the question how to plan. Obviously, a level of knowledge on desktop TPM will be handy, and also understanding of job pattern. Once you have had this thing, if you are not getting anything, just look at your work, whatever is your JD and how you are working over the last few weeks, it will give you a motamoti understanding of what you have to do next. Now comes the planning and execution process. First step is to create one main folder in desktop. The one which you will simply drag and drop for data keeping in OneDrive or any other such software which your company uses. Number two of the step is that create within this above main folder subfolders as per key result areas allotted to you. The third step would be then within these subfolders using design thinking method create more subfolders or put properly named and labeled files. This process elaborated in the next slide and the subsequent part of the video also. How you will need to do the design thinking, that part. Then after all this is done, then create in the fourth step, you create the shortcuts to the fold of these folders, subfolders, especially those folders which are in regular use into the desktop. In the fifth step, copy paste these shortcuts. These 3 or 4 are maximum, or 5, not do more than that. So these 4 or 5 shortcuts which you have put in desktop, you also put in the download section. 6 is obviously on every Friday, as I have already said in the last slide also. So if on every Friday, if not daily, delete unrequired files from download and drag and drop in the required files or desired files in the folders, and keep a mobile alert ready for this Friday and Saturday, and see that it is on, okay, so that you don't forget. Now a live example. Suppose I want to do this for myself. I have an HR, so I will have multiple such KPI areas like recruitment, performance, compliance, training, etc. So how will I do? So first, I will obviously create in desktop a main folder and say name it as a work folder. Then within that work folder, I will create sub breakups like say recruitment, performance, compliance, training, etc. etc. Now, this recruitment folder will then be divided into further subfolders without any overlap. So, this particular terms must be kept in mind without any overlap. This can be done, and now say for recruitment, it can be either internal or external, or say some processes can be there, process guidelines. Now, these process guidelines are true for both internal and external, so it cannot be clubbed in one particular folder, so it has to be separate. So, that's why process guidelines are separate. Now, external can be further broken down into say analysis, trackers, templates, directory, agreements, payouts, and job description, because these are all things which will be required. Now, what should be there in the process guidelines folder? It is a common thing for both these things. So obviously, this folder itself is common and has been kept separate. Why? Because these are common to both of these things, and these are not directly only involved or limited to internal or external. So how do you classify this folder? Now it can be basis obviously yes, because see these guidelines will come from head office to you on a frequency. Usual case the frequency it will be in multiple months, maybe once or twice or thrice, say or say maximum four to five times in a year. This change. So these related guidelines. So it will be basis years as so nearest unit which you can capture the level of activity will be years only, and that would be appropriate only. So because of this frequency, so this assumption and this evaluation and understanding that what frequency you should shoot, this is basis the your immediate understanding and the basis the pattern. Now, in this year, further bifurcation, what will be there? So, sub bifurcations will be July, say the month wise name of the files. Okay. So, had suppose the situation been such that in my organization, I would feel, or say the person who is doing this, he feels that there is so much of large number of changes in recruitment. Every week there is a change. So if that was the case, then I would have gone ahead and done it a weekly bifurcation. If we have seen that every month there is a change, then what will happen? Then every month, then I will look at a month-wise bifurcation and not just year-wise bifurcation. The year-wise bifurcation would have been there. Within that year, there will be month-wise bifurcation folders, and then in that folder, I will keep the files. Okay, so that is the thought. Now comes the compliance. That is a little bit different from recruitment. So giving the example, how it should be bifurcated. It can be bifurcated like they say external audit, regular uh, compliance related work, and internal audit. Now, regular compliance related work can be further broken down into PF, shop and establishment, ESI, LWF, disciplinary, and POS, etc. and etc. etc. Now, why external audit and internal audit has been kept separate and not included in the regular compliance folder? Now, that is because external audit and internal audit frequencies are will be different, and it is not directly related with any kind of legal regular legal compliance work. Yes, obviously in external audit as well as internal audit, there will be some set of NCs which we will need to work on, but these are more of projects. Okay, so these are different. External audit is something different, internal audit is something different. So that's why different folders, and regular compliance work is something different. So it comes in a range of these activities will come together. So hence regular compliance is a separate folder. if you want to know about the PF folder and further bifurcation, then also there will be a similar pattern. So this year first, and then month, and then variations. So because every month there will be a separate activity which will be similar in essence, but process wise may be similar, but data collections, screenshots, calculations, base sheets, challans, all will be different. See, under the BF folder, but yes, they're different. So for every month, so that's why it's a separate. How to create the log file? So this is the actual log file. So this is to be kept at the base of the main folder. Time bifurcations are shown in yellow, standalones are in blue. Standalone is one-time activities. So details, the type of files that are there and how they are stored, where they are stored, and so, this is easily visible here. So once you keep this, you can easily, have a broad understanding of how and where you have kept what file. This slide again, you can, as I just said, that you can change, copy it to some other folder also, and then make the changes in the names, etc. So that there also you get this kind of a similar breakup readily available, so that you can check on it if suppose you have forgotten where you have kept what. So that way it will be very useful to recall the path and all that. So here again, if you see, it's just a breakup. That's how it should be. So basic work folders, like say for HR, for me, it will be say recruitment, training, performance management, compliance, texture, MIS, and engagement. Engagement, there will be event-wise records, say tie-up, cricket, quiz, the items which I've used. So items are common thing, so you can use it directly. It's a separate. Cricket, obviously, the scorecards, score sheets, etc., and then the quiz, etc., which I have organized, chess, carom, anthem, sometimes used in engagement requirement. So then the structure and MIS will have the attendance, post analysis, office population part, which is separate. The attendance, the over zonal attendance, then daily listing reports, the attrition data, etc. Then compliance, etc. So these all things are there, which are different heads. Like PF is separate, PTAX is separate. These all things that labor compliance and this all sub breakups. So this is a more or less understanding of which all basic things are there and which all is there in which all particular kind of folders. So the first chunk, you know that this is in the recruitment folder, and then in the training, this is thing are there. Then performance, etc. Where is there? Where? So briefly, moti understanding of all the folders I am getting here from this particular view. Similarly, for IT, you can have similar breakups. It will look like this. Usually, in this case, major breakups will be project, software, performance data, study folder, support files, and shift register. So if you see here also, you will find. Suppose I have to like I'm working in IT and I want to for my project I need some reference files. So where will I search? I will search in the software folder, in the versions if required, or in the reference software. Suppose if I want to search an exe file which is in reference, then I'll go in the reference folder. Then I'll get there and open it and then copy paste or whatever in the main project file or whatever. So finding it becomes a lot easier. Suppose I have to download a Java book. Now I don't know where I have kept it. So I'll go to this log file and then see that okay fine. In the study folder in the books and documents handover, there is a this thing. There books. There is a one folder and then within that there is a Java and there is a C++ and this thing Hadoop and whatever. So in the Java folder I'll get that. In the same way, say handovers are common in IT. So from one project to another, you'll move and then you'll have all these files and you'll be given an handover. So just to be kept separate in a standalone activity. So this, if I know if somebody has come suddenly and that you have given me that kind of file and those set of handovers, but I'm not getting it. Can you please re-forward? So how do you do it? Now you can do if you, these are in irregular manner in download, some in desktop, then it is very difficult to give this thing. So then what will you do? You will just open this log file, and even if you have forgotten and if you have maintained this particular structure, then you simply open this log file and then see where it is, and then the shift register. Okay, see and handover where is the handover? Then I will search in the right side. Okay, there is the handover. So this handover file is in the shift register this thing. So then I'll go and open the shift register and then in the shift plans and handovers, and you'll get the handover folder. Now in the handover folder, I'll find all these files, and then I'll just simply copy and paste it in the mail body. That's it. If I don't do that, then I have to do the entire thing together and I say where file is there, where is there, where is there, and all these things. So then doing a lesson becomes a lot of stress also, and it reduces that in by this process. We are nearing the end. So how to create the shortcuts. This is the last thing that you need to know in this process. It is actually very easy, so no need to stress. Simply right click in that folder, which folder's shortcut you want to create. Then once you do the right click, you will get this kind of an option. So just you select the send to desktop. So that you will just find that one shortcut has already been created in the desktop of the name of the folder which you have created the shortcut. You can from next time onwards, whenever you click on that shortcut on the desktop only, you'll directly get to this particular folder. So if there are a large number of branches, you can for the most used such folders, which where you need to keep anything something regularly. So you can always create this kind of shortcuts for 3 4 thing, not more than that, because otherwise it again flood the desktop, which is not the idea. So you create support for 5 things on the desktop, and then also you can copy and paste these shortcuts in the download. So from there also, if you click, it will go directly to that particular folder. So it will reduce the time and also cyclic work in requirement of clicking and all that. So all these things will be further minimized without jeopardizing any part of the structure. Okay, thank you. I hope this particular video has helped some of you at least. If you have liked it, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you feel that this particular video may help some of your friends or any co-worker, then please do share with them also, and I believe that it will definitely be helpful. Uh, and if you have any views and about this particular video, please feel free to comment also. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, so we have come to the end of the PPT. Thank you for watching this. Hopefully, it helps you. If it has helped you, please feel free to subscribe, like, or share to your friend circles. I believe this will definitely help if you have gone through all of this and try to incorporate in some of this in your CVs. And good luck and use it. I think it will help you get more calls. All the best. I believe you can do it. Have confidence. Go forward in life.